Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. And here you found the goodest good possible, the greatest show about happiness, joy on the internet. Finding happiness and joy with Edwin and Barry. There is no greater show on earth. Welcome. Get ready. Buckle up, because you're about to find happiness and joy. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. You found good and abundant. You tuned in consciously and conscientiously to the greatest show on the entire internet that discusses you. What? Yes, you. Yeah, well, the show is called Happiness and Joy with Edwin and Barry, because that's what you want in life, I presume. Otherwise, you wouldn't tune in. And share this with other people and love it and spread the word, because happiness and joy are your inheritance. They are part and parcel of your very being. They literally live within every cell of your body and want to be you. Just to know how to break out, how to do it, how to live it every single day in a beautiful, bountiful, beloved, purposeful life. My name is Barry Shore. I'm the ambassador of joy, and we're here with my beloved partner, Edwin Edinburgh. You see Edwin on the other side of the screen? Okay, so you don't see him at the moment, but you'll see him regularly. He is now in his home country, and he's visiting his family and doing wonderful things for the world from there. His home country is Nigeria, Benin, actually, Benin, the Benin city, famous, by the way, famous in the world. You may not know it, but you should look it up. Do a Google on Benin City. Had one of the most remarkable cultures in the world. The architecture was so amazing that when the British came into the area and really took over, they, took over and absconded with the famous Benin doors, copper doors. We'll discuss that another time. But suffice it to say that this particular half hour for you is probably, and we hope, the most meaningful part of your day. And then it will extend for literally 2 weeks. We do the show every 2 weeks, the first and the third Thursday of every month. Just put it in your calendars and make sure you're here. Make sure you listen. Make sure you share this with at least 5 people. That's all we're asking. Because if you do that right now, we have about 15,000 people listening regularly. So it's around the world. Do 5 people, that'd be 75,000. Those 75,000 go to 5, and we'll be over the 100,000 mark very soon. And again, this show is really only about you, because that, we believe, are the driving forces in your life called happiness and joy. So I'm going to jump right in and give you a little bit of background about myself and about Edwin, and then we're going to allow that to show you how you can live in joy and happiness every single day, no matter the circumstances. You hear this? No matter the circumstances. Okay, on that note, I'm going to tell you something personal. So imagine this following story. Imagine I'm standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, just like you. I hope 99.99% of everybody listening and watching, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. That evening, being in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from my neck down. It was not from an automobile accident. It was not a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which I never heard of the day before, took over my body and rendered me quadriplegic. Quadriplegic means nothing in my body moved from my neck down. I could only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I still can't walk up a curb by myself. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I have helped 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. It's all because of one word. And this word is smile. That's right. We're going to learn a lot of acronyms today. We're going to talk about them. Smile is one of the most important words that you could ever internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because smile stands for seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. That's right. You are surrounded by them. Now, I got to tell you something. I do a lot of public speaking, not just on the web and in person. Recently, I spoke to a group of 1,172 people, and there's a lot of high energy, hugging, and all kinds of great stuff. And some people were just raising their hands when I tell the story of Barry Shore and about seeing miracles live. Some people say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours. I've seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water to drink? You have food to eat? You have a place to sleep? You have family? You have friends? Every single one of those is a miracle. And what's the proof? Simplest proof of all. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're watching, you're listening, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation. That's right. You hear this? We'll talk more about obligation in another show. You have an obligation to live life to the full, to live exuberantly, to be you, to spread joy, happiness, peace, and love. Because on this show, we talk about the 3 fundamentals of life. And these 3 fundamentals will enable you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. The 3 fundamentals are, number 1, life. Your life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life. Number 2 happens. In this case, a good number 2. You go MAD. Now, MAD is an amazing acronym that stands for make a difference. You make a difference in the world. And the 3rd is to unlock and uncover the power and the secrets of everyday terms. Like we just said, smile. Joy. Joy is an amazing acronym that stands for Journey of You. Remember, this show is all about you. You becoming the best you possible. So I'm going to turn it over to my dear partner, Edwin, and we'll give you a little bit of background about Edwin. Okay. Hi, Edwin. Hi, Barry. We're doing well? Yes. Okay, so Edwin is a remarkable being who is the Chief Happiness Officer for the world. I'm the ambassador of joy for the world. Edwin is the Chief Happiness Officer for the world. Right now, as I said, he's in Benin City in the country of Nigeria, visiting his family. Most of the year, almost all the year, he lives in Northern California. And a number of years ago, Edwin was so concerned about this process of finding happiness in life that he made it his job. You hear this? He made it his job to go out and interview people about happiness. Over the course of a number of years, I think it was a year and a half, Edwin interviewed over 1,000 people regarding happiness. What makes you happy? What is happiness? How do you deal with happiness? How do you deal with non-happiness, et cetera, et cetera? Over 1,000 people. And 2 things that he found are so important that if you internalize, utilize, and leverage these 2 ideas, it will literally enable you to shift your perspective. I'm going to talk to you about the word shift your perspective for just a couple moments here. It's so important. My latest book is called Oh Shift. Actually, I'm going to show you a copy of the front cover because it is truly wondrous. And I trust that everybody can see this if you're watching. Oh Shift. Now you'll notice, of course, these are Scrabble tiles and the F is just a little bit above the line because in 42 years of working with people, I have found that 97.2% of all people, when they talk about shift, drop the F and the other stuff happens. You want to shift your perspective just a little bit. We're just talking a tiny bit, and you can create your entire new world. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. That's what it's about, rethinking. So what are the 2 things that Edwin found? Number one, happiness is a skill. What? A skill? Yes, a skill like any other, in the idea of learning a skill. And the more you learn about it, the more you learn to use it, you become more proficient, you become better, you can even become a master of this skill. And what better skill to master than to learn happiness, to internalize, utilize, leverage happiness, so you are the embodiment of happiness. What was the second most important thing that Edwin learned? Is that emotions are not the way to find happiness. Emotions are so fluid. You go from mood, and you read mood backwards, it spells doom. The process of happiness, of learning the skill, is in the mind. When your mindset is in happiness, guess what happens? Your thoughts are in happiness. Your speech, your words are in happiness. Your deeds are done with happiness. And when you align your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, you become a spiritual chiropractor. So these are the two fundamental ideas that Edwin learned by interviewing 1,000 people. And by now, by the way, it's more than 2.5, I think 3,000 people that he's interviewed, and created a remarkable group, the Happiness Network Project, that touches tens of thousands of people around the world. Because once you recognize that the emotions are not going to bring you happiness, then it originates in your mind. And by definition, it's a skill that you can learn. Now you're on a pathway to success. Remember, we talked about the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, life has purpose. When you recognize, utilize, and internalize this remarkable fact that your life has purpose and meaning, everything follows from there, because from that comes number 2. You go mad. A purpose-driven person is a mad person. You're making a difference in the world. You make a difference by your very being, because when you channel happiness, you become a cog, a channel of goodness, a child of God. What better way to live in life, right? I'm going to be very au courant right now and talk about something. It's called ChatGPT, GPT, and AI. Everybody in the world has heard about these things. Imagine that 14 months ago, it would never existed in your world. And now everybody is blabbing about ChatGPT, GPT, and AI, artificial intelligence. Well, AI has nothing compared to HI. What is HI? Human intelligence. That's right. You can learn how to utilize ChatGPT as a tool, and AI as a tool, but these are just tools. What are the tools for? What are tools for? You want to build something, you need the right tools, whether it's building a birdhouse, building a mansion, and that's what really we're talking about. When you live in happiness and joy, you live in a mansion that's filled with light and loving kindness. When you want to build a skyscraper, you want to build a rocket ship, the key, foundational key, human intelligence, learning the skills, building an environment that enables everyone to succeed, because that's what team stands for. Team, T-E-A-M, is all part of the happiness and joy process. Stands for together, everyone achieves miracles. When you are living in happiness and joy, utilizing the skills that you learn, and we will gladly share them with you, tips on how to do this. These are skills that are readily available. You do not need special devices. You do not need to spend lots of money, even though I would urge you, by the way, I urge everybody. I've invested over the decades hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in learning the skills to be happy all the time, to live in joy, no matter the circumstances. You just heard some of my circumstances. This investment has paid multiple times over. If I've invested $300,000, I've had more than 3 million, 9 million, $20 million, $40 million, $100 million worth of value in my life. Literally, I'm talking about real money, and I'm talking about real money, the real currency of life. This is a key idea. We're 15 minutes into our podcast. If you learn nothing else today, here is a tip for you. The real currency of life. 2 words: joy and happiness. Okay, it's 3 words. I'll make it 2. Happiness, joy. 1 coin, 2 sides. Happiness, joy. That's the real currency of life. That will enable you to live life to the full. Everything you could possibly think of that you would want in your life. Loving relationships. Lots of prosperity. Eating well. Exercising well. Sharing. Spreading happiness and joy. Is there anything better? Can you think of something better? If you can, let us know in the chat. Put it in there. You know, we welcome comments. We love getting comments. And I've got a couple comments right now from an old good friend. And thank you. And I look forward, Alan, to speaking with you at some point. This is a wondrous process. And it's called life. Life stands for living inspirationally for eternity. Living inspirationally for eternity. That's really what life is all about. Think of yourself as an eternal being. That means that every thought you have, every word that you use, every deed that you do, when it's rooted in and put out as channeling you, remember, this is the best you. That's all we care about. That's all you care about. That's why you tune in. And that's great, because you care the most in the entire world about you. That's wonderful. That's what you're here for. When you become the best you make the world a better place. Let's talk about 2 other wonderful tips. So I mentioned to you that from Edwin, he learned these 2 important fundamental ideas. Number 1, it's a skill to learn happiness. And we're here to share skill tips with you, which we'll do in a couple minutes. The other is, if you let the emotions override the mind, you'll be in mood doom world. That's not the place you want to be. You want to be in love and happiness and joy and peace all the time. So here's one of the ways to do that. Understand, put it in, internalize it, utilize it, that you live in the world of something called a radio. Everybody in the world knows what a radio is. When you turn on that radio and you choose a particular frequency, a station as we call it, you have decided that's what you will listen to. And what you listen to affects your mind, your words, and your deeds. So you have a choice. You can tune in and listen to positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant channeling, frequency, or the other. It's your choice. No matter what you're listening to right now. If you're in a place where you call negative and down and out, and you don't know my story, like, hello, I told you my story. You don't know my story, but it doesn't matter. You can change the frequency. The power is in your hands. It's that simple. It's literally as simple as changing the frequency. We have something called AM, FM, and WIIFM. AM is amplification magnitude. FM, frequency modulation. Actually, AM is amplified modulation. FM is frequency modulation. You choose. When that station is something that you said, I've had enough. I don't want to live like this. choose the frequency. One of the best ways, of course, what you're doing right now. You are listening to the greatest podcast on the entire network, the entire internet. You hear this? We are listened to by tens of thousands of people around the world, all tuning into this frequency, understanding that this is a channel of goodness, that we're enveloping you in a hug that will help you shift your life. HUG stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. So it's not just Edwin and Barry hugging you. It's you embracing the world. Well, that's a big thing. So let's not just do the world. How about family and friends? Well, you may have a huge family and lots of friends. Okay. How about embracing just one or two people that you feel are really there to be involved with you? And here's a very important foundational idea. Happiness is an inside job. Joy is an inside job. There is no thing, no person, nothing, no person that can make you happy. Let me say it again. Happiness and joy are inside processes. There's nothing on the outside, zero, that can make you happy unless you decide to be. Everybody likes to, you like some particular comedy, a particular show, person laughing. Those are great. Those are all external. They're wonderful. They're uplifting sometimes. It's you. If you are laughing now and then you go home and then you're sad because you haven't internalized. Once you understand the shift in perspective, remember, keep that F in place or the other stuff happens. And it does. That's just life. Everybody goes through processes. Pain is a predicament awaiting immediate nullification. Wow! Yes, that was great, wasn't it? Listen to it again. You will shift your perspective. You will do something to change the frequency when you have enough pain that you don't want to be there anymore. Pain is a predicament, a particular situation that is awaiting immediate nullification. Can you relieve pain immediately? Yes. Can you relieve pain immediately? Yes. How? We're learning the 3 whys. Why? Now, I must say I am indebted to a wonderful TikTok interview that I saw. It was 33 seconds. Young woman interviewing a young guy. And the woman asked a question which she didn't realize. She thought it was a good question. But this wonderful young man understood intuitively, because he's a channel of goodness, a child of God. She asked the question, if you could meet God, what would you ask of him? He answered, if I meet God, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you. Do you hear this? I'm not questioning you, God. I'm thanking you. And he said, why? What does why stand for? Who hurt you? Why? Who helped you? Why? Who healed you? In his case, God. God stands for Garden of Delight. When you recognize that you live right now, no matter your situation, wherever you are in the world, you live in a garden of delight. That's God embracing you, hugging you. God, heartfelt, unlimited giving. It can't get better. But you need, if you want to live in happiness and joy, to internalize it, utilize it, and leverage in your life every day. And you can do it. You can do it. By the way, living in happiness for an hour a day is better than not, right? And if you can do an hour, you can do 62 minutes. If you can do 62 minutes, you can do 64, et cetera, et cetera. It's that ripple effect. Everybody knows you throw a stone into a lake, a clear lake, and that ripple effect goes out. What we don't realize until we think about it, that when you throw that stone into the lake and the ripples go out, those vibrations, those ripples don't stop at the edge of the shore. Barry Shore, ambassador of joy, doesn't stop there. That energy continues. You may not see it, you cannot feel it. We can measure it. It continues ad infinitum. That's my Latin coming out. I studied Latin for 4 years. It goes on. There is nothing in the world that can stop positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant vibrations. And yes, of course, the opposite is true. Negative happens as well. So you want to be the progenitor, the one that gives birth to positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant vibrations. That's what love is. Love stands for living on vibrational energy, living on the vibrational plane. Laughter helps a lot. Laugh is an important thing. Saying the mantra called joy helps a lot. So many things to learn. So easy to do. It's all in your hands. This podcast, by the way, just to, again, be very clear, this is not about information. There's plenty of information out there in the web and such, and we're going to share with you things that, okay, you never knew before, but there's plenty, the information is readily available. You have everything you need. Let me say it again. You have everything you need to live in happiness and joy every day. It's not even about inspiration. Wow, I love listening to Barry Shore and Edwin. I love Edwin and Barry. This is great. And it's wonderful. And then, of course, a day or two later, because that's inspiration, it comes in, goes out. What you really are looking for, and this is what we do, is transformation. It's the T word. Transforming yourself from the lower self to the higher self and living on the vibrational plane. You live in happiness and joy every single day. It's a skill. You can learn it. We're here to share it with you. Share is a wonderful word, stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. So we urge everybody, share this podcast with at least 5 people. You want to do 10, 20, that's up to you. At least 5. Make sure you share with the people that you love. It's called YAWYAW, Y-A-W, Y-A-W. You are who you associate with. That's so important, who you associate with. And understand, as Edwin has learned, that it's not the emotions, if they occupy the mind, then you can't live in happiness. You'll be in mood, and that's doom. It's the mind first, controlling and channeling your emotions. And then what happens? You live in joy daily. You live in happiness daily. It's the real currency of life. That one coin, 2 parts, the greatest currency in the world, the most powerful currency in the world. And it goes everywhere, anywhere, anytime, any place. So our blessing for you from Edwin and Barry is that you understand that the radio is there and it's your choice of the frequency that you listen to. If you like the station you're on, you want more of it, tune in and grow. You don't like the station you're listening to? Guess what? Turn the channel. WII-FM is the most listened to channel in the whole world. What's in it for me? What's in it for you is living in happiness and joy daily, no matter the circumstances. So we're doing a big hug for everybody. Hug, heartfelt, unlimited giving. 1, 2, 3. And our blessing from Edwin and Barry is go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go make a difference. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved.